Urbanization is the process by which large numbers of people become permanently concentrated into relatively small areas. But this one-time symbol of economic prosperity is seen to herald a multitude of problems that seem to hinder rather than aid development. In this program, we will examine some of the obvious and not so obvious challenges that living in an urban environment brings, and also some initiatives taken to make sure that everyone gets a chance to realize their right to development. It is often the voiceless of our societies that are the last to realize opportunities and the first to be denied their basic rights, whether they be deprived of an education, used as labor, or forced to live off the streets. Children are too often seen and not heard. Our first report takes a look at children of urban environments who are forced to scavenge for a living off the garbage bins of Asia.
July 20th, 2000 dawns like any other for the squatter community living outside the Payatas garbage dump site in Manila. But it turned out to be a day they will never forget, as the disaster that had been looming over their lives decided to strike that morning.
The first thing that they heard is like an airplane, and then it didn't take a minute when that mountain of trash collapsed, and it hit the populated area of the relocated site of Phase 2, where most of the people during that time are either be at work and the children are at play. So that there had been so many houses that was buried, and there had been so many bodies or many persons who died.
Only 237 bodies were recovered from the site of the garbage avalanche. Several hundred more people are believed to have been killed. At a local market, a street drama performance commemorates this senseless tragedy in the Philippines. It has brought to global attention the plight of hundreds of thousands of people around Asia and the Pacific who live off garbage dumps.
As Asia's cities have grown in size and the levels of consumption increased, so has the amount of waste generated by its citizens. Waste pickers and scavengers perform the useful task of recycling material and keeping the cities clean, but at a great cost to their health and for very little income.
Of all the people trying to survive by picking garbage in Asia's cities, the most adversely affected are the children. In Phnom Penh, capital of Cambodia, there are an estimated 8,000 children rummaging amongst the garbage bins for bits and pieces to resell and make a living. For these children, both the present and the future are bleak.
The children are on their own in the street from dawn to even late at night. And they are exposed to rackets and violence, and incited to sniff glue, to engage in petty crime.
Scavenger children living on the streets also face psychological problems, which, if untreated, could leave them permanently scarred. This hospital in Phnom Penh sees street children brought in for treatment by various NGOs.
The trauma they underwent before being on the streets, either domestic violence or the trauma of being separated from the parents, and the trauma of struggling in everyday life. These are all expressed in the form of headache. Then some of them do have depression, crying spells, not wanting to live.
Most of the children picking waste in Phnom Penh are from families of extremely poor rural migrants. With the Cambodian state still recovering from 2 decades of civil war, the only hope for these children is from NGOs which try to improve their living and working conditions. The Community Sanitation and Recycling Organization, or SCARO, tries to organize street children and educate them about health, hygiene and how to obtain better prices for the waste they collect. At daycare centers like this, children get a chance to relax, eat and learn of other opportunities to make a living.
Younger kids, the focus is on education and social development. For older kids, teenagers and on up into the adults, we're looking at several income-generating activities.
While it will take time to change the day-to-day realities of such communities, the friendly ambience at this daycare center has already sparked off dreams of a better future among the children.